Hey, Jim Ostrowski here with the Liberty Moving Podcast. Another late Friday afternoon podcast. So this one's going to be a doozy. I'm going to rip a new one on this. I'm going to rip you a new one on this one. So Paths of Glory, Kirk Douglas. Gentlemen, there's times when I'm ashamed to be a member of the human race, and this is one of those times. Fucking exploding pagers. I was busy this week. This happened Tuesday. But I was watching the reaction. It's like, no reaction. Ha 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 ha. Wow, how'd they do it? Hey, anybody who's for exploding pagers, go fuck yourself. And the horse you rode in on, okay? Everybody's got to stand up and be counted on this, and I'm against it. I think it's fucking horrible. It's horrible. It's a fucking war crime. It's not anything to laugh about. It's not anything to, wow, I really wonder how they did it. That's really clever. Let me tell you something, folks. Killing people is fucking easy. Cain killed Abel. It's very easy to kill a human being. And with modern science, the number of ways to kill a human being, it's infinite. It's really hard. I've said this before. Try creating a human being. Each of us took thousands of ancestors struggling in misery to get to the point where we now exist. And our lives can all be snuffed out in a second. So, this is to be condemned. This is so, I didn't listen to much commentary, but I finally found one commentator from over in England. And I cut it off because the guy was saying exactly what I was going to say on this podcast. And I didn't want my creativity to be dampened, but I'm going to steal one term. This opens the door. This opens the door. So, if it's okay for Israel to do this, oh yeah, we like Israel. Well, I don't share that sentiment. I used to when I was 10 years old, but I don't share that sentiment anymore, particularly in light of what they've done to Gaza. But if Israel can do it, why can't Hezbollah? Why can't Iran? Why can't Putin? I think Putin's got a few scientists that could intercept some packages. I mean, we're at war with Russia. The United States is at war with Russia. It's an undeclared war. But the people in the chain of command are combatants, not non-combatants. They're combatants. What if we were at war and the opposing army sent rigged cell phones to soldiers, and they're having Thanksgiving dinner or Christmas dinner? Well, they're soldiers. They shouldn't be around civilians. It's on them. Fuck you all. It's so stupid. Again, there's some times when I'm ashamed to be a member of the human race. This is something to be condemned. This is another cat out of the bag. This is opening Pandora's box. Remember the guy who sabotaged some Tylenol containers? And now, for the rest of all time, we have to have these caps that people with arthritis like me can't even open a bottle anymore of aspirin or whatever. I take almost no medication. This has opened a door. This is a new form of horror has been unleashed. And I'm so glad I'm not right wing, because the right wing's reaction has been nauseating. Oh wow, this is so clever. How'd they do it? That's really great. Again, folks, any moron can kill a human being. Any moron can kill 10,000 human beings. I'm not even going to talk about how, because of I got banned for condemning exploding pagers on TikTok. They removed the comment. So I'm not going to explain all the ways where you can do damage to other human beings. It's not hard. And when somebody invents a new form of horror, of violence, it's not anything to be admired. Can I tell you, the mass murder that happened during World War II, that was an engineering marvel too. Gee, I wonder how they did that. Wonder how they got all those trains to show up at the one place. Fuck you. Fuck you if you admire the engineering skill, the ingenuity. Fuck that. You know, somebody with my education and brains and imagination, you don't think that any highly intelligent, any intelligent person could go out and kill a couple thousand people by coming up with some new thing? If you're sick enough to wake, stay up in the middle of the night pondering how I can kill a bunch of people. This is something to be condemned, and this is why I got to get across Kenmore Avenue here. Rush hour. Oh wow, guy just went along. No, got bicycle just risked his life. I'm gonna just cross and see what happens. Okay, I did it. This is why I'm running a shadow campaign for president, because I'm just sick of the absolute vacuity, the inane nonsense, the cliches, the slogans. I'm going to cut waste, fraud, and abuse. And I did look at the candidates for president. Trump said vote almost nothing. Kamala Harris, of course, never says anything about anything. And her administration here's the galling thing. Whatever you think of Hezbollah or the people in Gaza, Hamas, we're not funding them. Well, we're actually funding some of the Palestinians. I don't know the details. But we're not directly funding whatever Hezbollah is doing. I don't think we're indirectly funding it either. We're funding Israel and these fucking exploding pagers. So our government monkeys around in the Middle East, kills a lot of people, helps kill a lot of people, and yet they cannot protect us from terroristic blowback. If you think they can, read my article about 9/11. 9/11. I used to look out of my office window in New York and see those towers. I would go through the World Trade Center on the way to work from Harrison, New Jersey. So I know a little bit about 9/11. Believe me. So what have our candidates said about this new form of terrorism? What have the commentators said? What has the media said? What has anybody said except me? This is fucking horrible, and it has to be condemned and opposed, or it's just going to happen a lot. We're going to get a lot of copycats, and we're never going to be able to use an electronic device again without wondering if it's going to blow up in our faces. So what have our candidates said? I checked out the Libertarian. You'd think the Libertarian would be all over this with a rapid response. Nope. The Libertarian candidate's attacking some tweet by the New Hampshire Libertarian Party. It's classic. Those Libertarians love to spend most of their time attacking other Libertarians. You have you have one job to point out that the state is our enemy. You have one fucking job. Forget the New Hampshire Libertarians. Nobody pays any attention to them anyway. So Chase Oliver has said nothing about this, and that's why I'm running a shadow campaign for president. Because the American people, I was about to say, oh my God, they deserve it. I hate that word. Nobody deserves anything. Let's just say they should have somebody talking about actual, real issues. Like, I'm the only one who pointed out that when the United Kingdom threatens to arrest Elon Musk and any American that that's a violation of the NATO Charter and we should pull out of NATO. So we deserve to have, I use that word, forgive me, my God, I'm going to go to hell. We should have a candidate that talks about real issues. So this is to be condemned. All money that goes to Israel should be immediately cut off. The Ukraine war should end as well. So that's really why I was doing this broadcast. So today, it's members only, subscription only. You're not allowed to listen unless you bought one of my books. So I remember back in school, UB, 45 years ago, the professor, Richard Cox, he was a Straussian, and I forever am grateful to him. He died a few years ago. I'm forever grateful to him because I walked in there like a left-wing Democratic, Reform Democrat, Ramsey Clark, George McGovern, Mo Udall type Democrat, sat in his class for like 2 sessions and realized, God, I know nothing. I was so totally ignorant. And I credit that Straussian, Richard Cox, for waking me up. It's a cold slap in the face. Wake up, figure something out. So I did. I spent like years trying to figure all this stuff out. But he used to teach the literary classics, because the Straussians believe in sort of this esoteric theory of interpretation, and I'm not an expert in it at all. But they thought there were hidden meanings in books, because we didn't have free speech at the time, and you couldn't really say what you thought. But Mark Twain's book, Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court, I thought of this recently. He has a scene and he's transported back in time, but he understands. He's like a Yankee sort of, inventor type guy. He's battling the knights, and he puts together some electronic field where there's wires, and it's wet. He's got the knights going through, and then he turns on the electricity and they all die. And Cox believed that this was sort of a premonition of the industrial strength mass murder which is to come. So that's what we're talking about here. This does open a new door. There's no end to it. It can be used by our enemies as well. And one of the great contributions of the historical libertarians, they might not have come up with all the theory, but they certainly supported it. Just war theory. I mean, how else are you going to restrain these barbarians other than to say, there's rules of war, and if you don't follow them, it's a war crime, and you know what? We might hang you at the end of the war. I'm against capital punishment, but I don't speak for everybody, and I'm just describing the procedures. Guys got hung. I pointed this out in the book about Obama and Hillary invading Syria and Libya. People got hung at Nuremberg for what those people did. So this is a war crime. It's a war crime because you can't be assured that non-combatants are not going to be killed. It's already being justified. I don't even want to argue about it. It's like, I just want to ostracize people who think this is a good thing. So I just wanted to make that point, that this is a horrible thing. People need to point it out, condemn it. Don't be silent on it. Take a stand. And I'm hearing some cheers. There must be some sort of a football game going on, maybe a show. None of the candidates are talking about it. American TV is empty. The right wing is making fools of themselves, laughing at this thing, and admiring the ingenuity. Again, it's not hard to kill people. Any moron can do it. It's not even hard to kill a lot of people. Can somebody come up with an idea where it's like, makes life better? Instead of figuring out a way to kill a bunch of innocent people scattered throughout Lebanon. So I think that's pretty much all I have to say about this subject. I'm still trying to decide who to vote for president. Right now, I think I'm penciling in my name, because I'm just so disappointed with Trump's overall platform. he's kind of, I don't know. I don't want to bash Trump. I'm on record disendorsing Kamala Harris. Chase Oliver is not putting the best foot forward on liberty, so that's why I'm running this shadow faux candidacy for president. So with that said, I wish everybody a wonderful weekend. If the world wasn't already bad enough, we got another thing to worry about, not just opening up a bottle of medicine. Now you got to wonder if you turn on your cell phone, it's going to explode in your face. So goddamn the people who brought this new horror to us.